Hi, I want to talk to you today about the book Stalking Jack the Ripper by Kerri Maniscalco. This is a historical fiction book and it's also a suspense and thriller. So the story is of this young woman named Audrey Rose who has an uncle that practices medicine, and this is during the late 1800s, so it's at a time when women were forbidden from going into certain professions like that. So she secretly works with her uncle, learning about medicine and cadavers and dissections and all of this stuff. In the midst of all of this, we have Jack the Ripper, who was a real person that stalked and murdered people. And this is happening in her hometown. So her uncle gets involved in some forensics investigations and she starts to get involved. She works with this other student who has an interest in the case as well. And you're trying to figure out who Jack the Ripper is. Does she have a connection to him? The whole time you're thinking it might be one person, but then question that as the story unfolds. And we have a kind of surprise twist ending as we get to the end of the book. So it's very engaging. I highly recommend it if you like medicine, historical fiction, or suspense thriller novels. So I just want to read to you a part from the very beginning where she is doing a dissection with her uncle. I placed my thumb and forefinger on the icy flesh, spreading it taut above the breastbone as Uncle had showed me. Getting the preliminary incision correct was imperative. I took my time eyeing the placement of metal upon skin, ensuring proper aligning for the cleanest cut. I felt Uncle hovering behind me, studying my every move, but had my view set entirely on the blade in my hand. Without hesitation, I dragged the scalpel from one shoulder to the sternum, taking pains to push as deeply as I could. My brows raised a fraction before I schooled my face into an unreadable mask. Human flesh flayed much easier than I had anticipated. It wasn't much different from cutting into a pork loin prior to its roasting, a thought that should have been more disturbing than it was. So that is Stalking Jack the Ripper by Kerri Maniscalco, and I recommend this as your next read.